American, no soldier. And yet there he was, carrying the fight to the boastful aggressor. The self-acclaimed Superman was learning to his bitter surprise and sorrow the fighting qualities of the American soldier. It seems the aggressors had made a slight miscalculation.
In Italy, our forces pushed on through rain and mud, over mountains, across rivers, toward Rome. Our power drive up the Italian boot forced the enemy to divert 30 of his divisions from France and the Low Countries, weakening his defenses.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got a match moved up here in the timeline. So we got BlazerKers versus Sovereign. We're going to have Tarkov. Sovereign left it to me to pick a map. I went with this one, good old Sashin Tarkov. We have US versus SS for this first matchup. So we will see how that goes. Neither one of these are particularly expert players as far as I'm aware, but they're decent. I know Sovereign is at least. USA versus SS is an interesting matchup. They are considered to be the two strongest of the factions right now, at least overall. I'm not sure how it breaks down exactly in the 1v1s. I myself don't really play a lot of 1v1s. So we'll see how this opens here. Let me just check something real quick, make sure this is working in the stream.
The fighting qualities of the American soldier.
This one looks like it is, so we're good to go. Let's see how they open here. Oh, sorry, Wehrmacht versus USA. Didn't realize that he had changed. We have armored rifles versus grenadiers. Nothing too special there. Probably a fine pick on this map. This is a revamped version of Kharkov. If you've never seen this before, try to get rid of some of the exploity spots. Lower the hills, make more rolling hills, so you can actually get from point to point. Works really well as a 2v2, and of course 1v1 is adequate on this map. BlazerKers really needs to be spreading out here. He's got a whole another rest of the map to be playing here. Oh, this is a mistake. Sovereign somewhat spreading out. He really needs to keep these guys moving. He's got half his squad just sitting back here, not doing anything of relevance. Also going to be popping another squad. He's not. Is he saving for something? Sovereign's popped out a couple single buys in the meantime. Nothing special. We have a 50 cal team. It's interesting. Certainly unusually. That's going to be quite risky if he doesn't have the infantry support. All it takes is infantry sitting right up here and throw a grenade and it's out. So we'll see how that goes. This is looking pretty bad for Blazers already off the bat. Must not be particularly experienced with 1v1s. That would be my guess. You can't just sit on one third of the map, play left, right, and mid. It's not that case in here. Finally getting those guys moving over there, now realizing that Sovereign has capped the majority of the map. The Panzer Grenadiers up from Sovereign, also another good buy. 50 cal sitting back. What is going on here? This is not looking good. This may be a very short match, ladies and gentlemen. BlazerKers really needs to put this in the overdrive. Can definitely be picking up this paragraphed M8 here in a second. I mean, generally you don't want to be blowing your SP this quickly, but like, this is looking pretty bad. If Sovereign gets dug into these strong points, it could be rough to get back in. He's going to need to really surge forward here, and he's just not doing that. He needs to be applying more pressure than he is. Looks like the first kill is going to be on that Herrschaftsführer, or Gruppenführer. No, Blazer's got one thing going for him at least. Can't say it as much though. So Sovereign should be really realizing that there's just nothing going on here and be flanking around to get the guy into spot his spawn and potentially kill a tank later. Blazer's being slow and splitting this off. A quick way you can do this to make this a little bit easier for you is put these guys into cover, you know, bushes or hard cover, it doesn't really matter. Hit K to disband the squad and they'll all keep moving and you can select them out separately very easily. That prevents you from wasting time, you know, trying to sort them out while they are, you know, walking to the point. Sovereign now out with a 250/1 half track. Could potentially knock it out with heat or white phosphorus rifle grenade. They're all bunched up though, that's a very valuable target. 50 cal, where's that 50 cal on that? Still back in spawn, that could also be able to take care of that half track depending on the angle, but we're not seeing it. Couple of short rifle grenades landing over there, not doing much of anything. Half track sorta in a position of support, now it's moving in closer. And there goes all those riflemen. No sort of anti-tank support or positioning to stop that. We do see an M3 AT gun out now. Fantastic buy, a little bit late on it. But got it a little bit earlier. Especially if he's going to box himself into the corner of his spawn like this. Sovereign able to, at the very least, hold these guys out from doing much of anything valuable. See how Blazers comes out here trying to break this deadlock. He does have a sniper. Sniper could be used to take out the German machine guns. Definitely the biggest threat out of the German squad, especially if we're not looking at Sternbrand or something like that. But he is sitting back and not really in a position. Had he moved him up to right about here, he could potentially take out that guy. Or even better yet, since Sovereign hasn't fully crept up on the edge of this hill, he could move here to where he'd be out of range of the MG. But we're just not seeing that. BlazerKers really needs to increase his micro, get the victory in hand. Sovereign already dropping SP into the Volksgrenadier, probably completely unnecessary, but, you know, secure the win where you can secure the win. It sure is true. AT gun should have a vision on that half track. Does he not see it? No, he does not see it. Probably because the soldier's facing the wrong way, otherwise he probably would be within range. Now the half track's moving, he probably... No, he doesn't. It's just the pain of not having proper infantry cover as far as your sight lines. If Sovereign's able to secure a full cap, which would be rather difficult on this map given the spawn is right here, we could see an extremely quick ending. It is definitely one of the few ways to end a game quickly now is to secure a almost full cap or full cap. Right, since they are based off of fixed number percentages, the way that the cap ticks work, is that a 9-3 isn't completely crushing, or I should say 10-3, but I bet 11-2 is. That probably ticks over the threshold to where it starts going into the very, very high tick rate. I mean, this is still incredibly quick. as far as a normal game would usually go about. You know, we're looking at, you know, let's see here, 9-second tick roughly. So we're looking at like a 20-ish, 25-ish minute game, which is fairly quick since we're trying to get the games to go around about the 40-65 minute mark, or at least that's what we're aiming for. That's obviously not the case, especially if you have a blowout like this is looking to be currently. Oh, the good old Congo lining. That is really devastating. There's absolutely no right that this G43 should be knocking out 5 guys. Brutal. BlazerKers certainly cannot afford that. Sniper able to do some work over here potentially. Still has not really landed that hit. It's getting the targeting bug, targeting the infantry closest to him as they like to do, but unfortunately that infantry was down in the ditch and he wasn't able to line up. M3 AT gun does manage to knock out that Volksgrenadier and a couple of other guys, but it's not going to be enough. The grenade spam over the hill as expected. Going about. BlazerKers not having the micros. Micro is just extremely deficient. Here we're finally seeing a return grenade, but it's probably not going to be enough for the Sludge Sovereign, especially with no follow-up infantry and poor timing on that, where the Germans are able to just simply jump out of the way. We are seeing an M16 though. That should make short work of all these Germans, considering Sovereign has neglected having an AT rifle or anything of the sorts. It is, of course, always possible that the M16 is mismicroed into one of the many Panzerfaust. Oh, I speak incorrectly. He did have a PZB. I thought that was a grenade rifle. So yeah, that M16 is as good as dead already, most likely, unless it catches it out. At some point, we had seen another 50 cal. Another half-track as well, and a Lux. Sovereign going big to secure this early victory. Again, with these poorly micro squads, at the very least, you should be putting up sandbags here or something. Anything to provide some modicum of defense. M16 going down, not knocked out yet. There it goes. Actually, did manage to make it over here. The rifleman, he's able to grenade out these couple guys. Might be able to take that flag, although there's no way he would hold it, especially as the encroaching spawn camp begins. BlazerKers is getting that very high increased payback rate, but it's not enough to hold on to this. He needs to be putting out a lot more units and being far more aggressive with them. And more importantly, actually kill some of Herr Oberst Lieutenant's units. As we can see here, it is 35 to 43. Half track does go down. Though the AT gun is most likely almost, yeah, it's basically out of ammo. He needs to get an infantry ammo crate up there to get that resupplied, although by the looks of things it might just be overrun by infantry here in a short bit, or the Lux. More armored rifles pushing forward. Will they be Congo lined into doom? Sure is what I am expecting here. Another sniper out. I'm not sure that is the decision. Really not a high value targets other than the PZB and a couple of machine guns here or there. No elite Fallschirmjägers or any of that jazz to be really targeting down. Another Volksgrenadier platoon out. BlazerKers really needs to be dropping his SP. The fact that we're not seeing that does not bode well. Whenever you're in these dire losing situations, you really need to be dumping that SP to be able to get back into the game, as much as it hurts them losing out that later game value. This is a rough one, ladies and gentlemen. There's no doubt about that. Sovereign also being timely with his officers, just shortly after unlock, already popping them out. I imagine he's quite high on his CP. So BlazerKers does have that one advantage, which is significantly higher payback rate. And it's just over the ideal threshold, which is unfortunate. 50 cal managing to snipe off somebody. I think he's got a guy out of his half track. Sometimes that happens with these flyer maps. Bullets don't stop, you know. Whirlwind now, and a martyr. Most likely an SP martyr, and back up on another half track. I don't feel like BlazerKers is going to be getting out of his spawn. He's got pretty well boxed in now. The only thing he can really do is... Oh, we're actually seeing this guy push forward. Is to get some guys down along here that keep him further boxed in. Is the YOLO John Wick rifleman going to be able to... Oh, he's got the white phosphorus. Does not get him, though. He has pushed him out of the cap, though, which is meaningful. Stave off his defeat just a little bit more. Unfortunately, we did see the Congo line of doom again. Resulting in just a fair few casualties, and I'm sure a fair few more. AT gun one round and not aimed correctly. Is now decrewed. We do see a mortar, definitely not the right call right now. Does not have the infantry to secure his front. Sovereign should be taking this free flag back. Looks like we will be seeing the rare full cap. Something that usually does not occur if you can hide these guys off just a little bit longer until this Greyhound moves through. Unfortunately, though, 20mm autocannons do make short work of the Greyhound. There's just not enough armor to stop that. And that rate of fire will keep stunning that Greyhound over and over, despite their both poor accuracy. Does get a shot off. Whether or not that's enough to finish the locks, probably not. Should be engaging with this locks at the same time as the Whirlwind. The Whirlwind does have that extremely weak turret. Pen spam over and over again. Still fighting onwards though. Taking numerous penetrations, still going. And down it goes. This does put into a Chaffee that should be able to finish things off here. Its front armor should be enough to stop the 20mm unless they get extremely close. Although a side shot would be able to kill it right now. That one rifleman has still some... oh no, he's reinforced him with a couple other riflemen. Sovereign should probably be investing in more officers, considering he has a very secure lead, though at this point I'm sure it doesn't matter. And the martyr should make short work of that. Oh, did he get penetration? Yeah, it looks like he got one penetration with a 20mm, but that martyr is going to kill the Chaffee here in the next shot, most likely. There it goes. Ammunition destroyed. Pop. Still no infantry AT out for BlazerKers. There's really not much of anything left. We're looking at 23 C2 worth of units. We have an airborne call-in. It's the Americans, I believe. No, that might be the Germans. Sovereign might be calling down some Fallschirmjägers. We now have a singular infantry unit out for BlazerKers, just as sniper he's had for a while. Out on the half track goes somehow. I'm not sure if he self-destructed that. That would be my guess. It was Fallschirmjägers that had come down. And so we're looking at a full cap victory here, boys. And this looks to be game one going the Sovereign. A clear, decisive, full spawn camp crush. 17 minutes, and the wonderful sound of airborne noises everywhere. Gotta love it. And that's game one, boys. We will be back with the second one shortly. I'm going to be pushing us to intermission.
With the coming of spring, 1944, the winter stalemate in Italy was broken. Our forces slowly resumed fighting their way up the west coast of the Italian boot toward Rome against bitter German opposition. The British advanced up the east coast in the face of equally bitter opposition. In the Pacific, troops of the 1st Cavalry Division landed on Los Negros and Manus Islands in the Admiralty Group to wipe out all Japanese resistance and complete occupation of the entire group of islands. We landed large forces at Hollandia and Aitape on the north coast of New Guinea. General Stilwell and his troops were fighting the Japanese in Burma. This was global warfare on a scale never known before.
Alright, here we are back again for game 2 out of the match. This time, Herr Albert's lieutenant has gone for USA, and BlazerKers has gone for Wehrmacht. Blazers got to pick the map Gazala, and there was no side preference from Sovereign, and so we have ended up with the standard layout. Just what the factions are in the beginning. This map is an interesting one. You definitely have these dominating hills that sit around the map. You can definitely put up some elite MGs or Lafettes or other tripod machine guns on the bridges and be able to shoot over with pretty much cover impunity. As well as direct fire indirect tanks are also very strong on this map as well, to where you can fire over these hills. Blazers not spotting. Is he saving for something? Interesting. Oh, there we go. Opening with Paramarine with a slight delay. That is an interesting choice. Does provide him with the Boys AT rifle, as well as some very high veterans, or should I say skill units. I believe these are 6 skill. At least the squad leader is. Yeah, 6 skill. Sovereign's opening. Sorry, Sovereign is the American, not Blazers. I had that backwards concerning the last match. Do have the upgraded weaponry that comes along with the Paramarines with the Johnson rifle, Johnson LMG, the Rising. Will it be worth the wait, though? It does risk his opponent getting into here and potentially getting into a couple of other annoying spots, probably here. Usually you don't see a delayed opening on a map this small with lots of cover. What should I say? Decisive cover. That's really what matters. If you play on something like a Rod, then it does matter less, because you can simply just overwhelm your opponent with your superior quality of units. seeing a Lafette out for the Blazers as a second unit. Definitely going to be pushing that forward. Is it stuck or is he just not microing it? I'm not sure which. Probably stuck based on it being close to that. It's unfortunate if that is the case. Let's see what Sovereign followed up for the second unit. There's a Volkssturm that the Blazers are open with. Volkssturm are certainly not a good opening unit. They are just extremely poor skill with limited equipment. They do make good cannon fodder, but that's about it. Down one goes. The first kill of the match. Looks like, I think this is the double bar squad. 2 rifle grenades, 2 bars. Certainly a solid buy. Gets a bazooka out of it. And delay and the full push Sovereign going over here has set him back on that right flank, although Blazer hasn't fully taken advantage with that middle cap, so it looks like Sovereign is going to be able to regain that early loss as far as the timing went by delaying his units. Lafette still sitting back. This can't be accepted. Sniper coming out though certainly can make a difference against these more elite units. Although generally you can run into issues once you start to approach this level of skill where it might take more than one sniper shot to kill a unit, which is certainly something you don't want to have. We're seeing another Lafette out. In fact, he got the sequence by Lafette, so now he has 3 Lafettes out, but even the first one is just not in a position to do anything. Sovereign is going to contest this right flank now. Should be backcapping, which looks like he is. Yes, that's good. Probably a little bit too many units involved there, but not a big deal. Sniper does manage to pick off one of the Paramarines. He's going to need to be picking off a lot more, though, to regain this early value. As we can see here, it is 1-1, but 6 units versus 1. Even if they were just Volkssturm. That was the entire opening, essentially. Sovereign going to clear out this right-hand point now, over here on the west-hand side. Sniper does pick off another Paramarine. Someone should really be pushing forward and taking this hill. The boy's AT rifle, while not accurate, does give him an advantage in range. He could push up to like somewhere right about here and lay down and engage with some cheaper units and then snipe them off with the AT rifle. Since it is semi-automatic and a one-shot kill to that sniper, it is still a threat. We're seeing some, looks like armored rifles in a half-track. Which he has, no. These aren't armor rifles on half-track. He bought a half-track and then filled it full of Marines. That is certainly a choice. Definitely not the optimal one. He could have gotten a discount had he just gotten the armored Marines or the armored rifles in the half-track. But certainly not a game loser either which way. Does spot off that last German sitting over there. Lafette is in position to do some work, although that hill there is a significant factor in that. This Lafette also in position, but really not going to be able to change much. And this Lafette should be ahead. Are we seeing the M8 buy? This is almost certainly the M8 howitzer drop. Yes, it is. What else did Sovereign go on? Oh, Sovereign might have bought the heavy rifles. Well, that might have been what those guys were over here. Sovereign is making the correct plays, dropping SP early. That does tend to be one of the deciding factors of 1v1s. 1v1s have a unitary level of aggressiveness. You don't have to worry about your opponents, you know, or should I say, you don't have to worry about your teammates, you certainly have to worry about your opponent. Generally what happens in team games is hard to maintain that level of cohesion and communication to keep up the assault to where you could just full crush your opponent. Here we can see that, you know, you push hard, you push early, you can win very quickly. Certainly put yourself in a strong position regardless. So Lafette is down a man, not able to retreat, and should be turning to engage. Looks like he turned it off of burst fire, or he's direct controlling one of the two. Down goes the air guy, and Lafette is demanned. More Volkstrom coming over here. That's all for naught. At this point, he should be self-destructing this Lafette. It is a great danger of being captured. Looks like he's going to try to rearm it again, but he's going to just instantly get cut down by this firing squad of men. Yeah, so yeah, he did turn them on to burst mode, which makes it incredibly inaccurate. Especially if you have Volkstrom for one skill MG just firing on full auto is never going to hit anything. Looks like we do have the M8 guys down, but Hero Burst has mistakenly pulled them away without rearming the M8. Lux out for Blazers, though. See if that can make the difference here. Certainly can deal with those half-tracks, although he managed to get one dismanned, probably from the Lafette with a lucky shot. This sniper is certainly racked up the kills. Got 3 now, 3 pair Maroons, which is almost up to its payback value. BlazerKers continuing with the Volkstrom assault. Not getting very far. They just have not accomplished much of anything. The only kills have come from the Lafettes and the... I say that. The Volkstrom fucking Lafette did just land a shot. Granted, it was one of the first couple rounds, so it maintained that accuracy, but still. 50 cal actually landing a couple of pens on the side of that Lux. Something you don't see very often. Will Herlobers will be able to pick it off with the bazooka? It's certainly looking like it, though there is that tall machine gun able to be aimed in. Down it goes. Not full killed. Certainly damaged, though. Decrewed. That is a certainty. Blazers really needs to be dropping the extra smackdown here. He's not. We did see a Stewart out, probably preemptively from that Lux. Volkstrom trying to recrew the Lux, but they're going to get beat out by the Marine. And down he goes. Now the Lux is going to be able to run havoc on Blazers' side. This is looking like another crushing defeat coming in for Blazers. Blazers is putting down Fallschirmjägers. That is certainly not a choice, and certainly not in that position that I would be doing. They might not instantly die, but I'm not sure about the efficacy of this. All that Lux needs to do is turn back around, or the Stewart comes in. One of the two, and those Fallschirmjägers are all but cooked. When the Lux came forward, but that was the mistake there. He definitely just needs to put a little bit of armor in. Here they both go. As long as he doesn't suicide them directly into those Fallschirmjäger tens of F-30s, he should be fine. He does land a direct HE grenade, but that is not very effective against the Lux. And the Fallschirmjägers come down one by one. There goes roughly 400 MP worth of units. There's a second Lux engaging the rear of Sovereign's now captured Lux. Unfortunately not getting any pens. Needs to keep moving with that though. A Lux can certainly kill a Lux. There's no doubt about that. There goes the track, so this Lux is all but assuredly dead unless the Stewart can come and save the day. Will we see it? No, it doesn't look like it. This is repairable though, so Sovereign can capture that back again. Advantage of this, it does end up spotting out the remaining Fallschirmjägers. Will this Lux make a difference, or will it suffer the same fate? Looks like it is death by Stewart this time. Though it does pick off the M16. Again, only hull damage though, so it is repairable. Stewart doing Stewart things. Stewart largely immune to the Lux. Fairly unlikely that it gets a penetrating hit on the hull. Well, the Stewart is more than capable of penetrating the Lux. does take a penetration, but the Lux gets knocked out in the next shot. We are seeing a Panther 3 end out, though. The Panther 3M is certainly capable of killing the Stuart. Stuart can kill the Panther 3M, but if he stays at max range, he is likely okay. Another Sniper out, though. Snipers have been working well for him, but they need to be put to more value. He needs to be actively hunting these units, especially the more valuable machine guns and bazookas and all those likes. Stuart does get the drop on the Panzer 3. Stuart is tracked, though. Will Sovereign be able to get the bazooka within range, though? Walks into the Lafette, though. Almost gets cut down. Sniper in a very dangerous position. Looks like that was a penetrating hit. Knocked out the engine, most likely. As well as a couple of crew. Still returning fire, though, between the two. It looks like it was another penetrating hit. Pens is Stuart, though. Stuart down 2 crew as well, fully tracked. Battle of the Ages, ladies and gentlemen. Lucan RNG harder first. Looks like he knocked him out with an ammunition fire. That is the RNG that you're looking for. No recent call-ins from either side. Sovereign sitting on almost 400 MP. Could definitely be calling in some officers if nothing else. We have the remaining bit of Marines sitting back here. They should be used on the offensive here. Sovereign saving for a Sherman? Looks like it was. No, he went for a Chaffee, interestingly enough. Definitely should have went with the Sherman. Gets you the opportunity by of getting a sequence as well as other things. We have a paradropped M1 AT gun, certainly capable of killing the Panther 3. The Panther 3 is, of course, capable of killing it as well. BlazerKers responding with a mortar. Definitely not particular targets. Does be able to take out the Rangers half track. A couple of Rangers with the Cosmodrome. It's the Vulture. I'm surprised that even hit. I think this is the end of the day for the Sniper here. And you're facing an onslaught of fire. Does pick off another Ranger. But down he goes. BlazerKers putting out some more Vulture. He is just a man with a machine mind. Don't care about those men. He just wants them mowed down. That's all he wants. If it gets him any closer to the victory, although it is looking pretty dire again, as I had said. Not quite to the level of the previous maps with the full spawn camp, but I think a lot of that is just because Sovereign is not putting as much pressure as he was. Certainly just not pumping out as much infantry. Those double Volks platoons ends up giving you, 6 squads worth of infantry, where we've only seen one, an M8 howitzer, which he didn't even use, and this AT gun, which is now moving up. Does land a very good penetrating hit on that Panzer 3, knocking out its turret. As well as finishing off the crew outside the one commander repairing. The Sniper somehow avoided death here. I'm not entirely sure. Should be within scoping range of that. Oh, I guess he only has the M1. That's probably the only reason why he lived. The guy with the M1 is here out front. Martyr now engaging the Stuart, the Chaffee, both entirely capable of killing each other, although the Chaffee is at the range disadvantage. AT gun should be within range of this though. Well, then the shot. APDS was auto-loaded, definitely an overkill in this case. Martyr having virtually no armor. Not sure where that shot was going. Could just be the nature of APDS. Down go the Voltron, then cut down in the waves. Looks like we are seeing the Volksgrenadier, yes, so they're just mixed in with the Voltron. We're seeing the Volksgrenadier platoon out from Blazers, but it's too little too late. We're at 138, the 157-0. That score is ticking fast. So I think this is going to be a game, set, match for Sovereign, who will be moving forward in the tournament bracket. Follow the